Come in out of the cold a minute. Pull that chair around to the stove side. It's warmer there. I've got bread coming out in 20 minutes, so I'll keep my hands busy while we talk. You don't mind? I've been thinking about you, about how the world has gotten away from the knowing of things. Before I start, I want you to do something for me. Reach into that bag you brought, or your pocket. Get out a little book, a scrap of paper, any piece you can write on. There's a stub of a pencil in the cup by the window. This is going to be a lot, and I want you to be able to take it home. My mother used to say that a lesson not written down is a lesson half forgotten. So take it down, every bit, and you'll have it forever. Now reach into that cupboard there, the low one by the basin. No, the brown bottle. That one. Hold it up to the window light a second. You see how the plastic is dark, near black? There's a reason for that, and I'll come to it because it tells you most of what you need to know about why this little bottle is worth more than half the things people keep under their sink. Write down brown bottle. That's the key. This bottle cost me maybe $1 at the pharmacy in town. And I'm going to tell you, before we are done sitting here, 18 things I do with it. Write down a big 18 on your page, and we will fill it in. 18. Some you may know, some I'd wager you've never once heard, even from your own mother. And by the time I'm through, you are going to walk back into your own house and look under your sink at all those bright-coloured bottles, each one promising to do one single job, and you are going to feel a little foolish. I felt foolish the first time it was shown to me. I was a young girl, just married, and I thought I knew everything about keeping a house. I did not. So I understand. Now I want to be honest with you right from the start, because that is the only way I know how to talk. My people, the Amish, we keep to ourselves, and we keep our ways. But I have been shown that the knowledge of the land and the home is a gift meant for all. The Ordnung, our rules, they have their place, but the heart of our faith is in community, in helping one another. And how can I help the world if I keep the very truths that could ease your burdens locked away? So I am choosing to share. This is my small rebellion, not against my faith, but against the forgetting that has stolen so much from so many. This bottle is not magic. There are folks online who will tell you it cures every ill under the sun. And that is not true, and I will not tell you it is. But what it does do, it does honestly. And it does for pennies. And that is the part nobody seems to want to say out loud anymore. So let me ask you something. How many bottles do you have under your sink right now? Go on, picture them. Write down the names of the bottles you can see in your mind, just to get a count. One for the glass, one for the tub, one for the toilet, one for the counters, a different one for the floor, a spray for the mould, a tub of powder for the wash, a little bottle of something for your feet, a tube for a child's scrape, a mouthwash on the shelf upstairs. 8, 10, 12 different things, and each one cost you $4, $6, $8. And each one has a bright label and a name somebody paid a lot of money to think of. Write down that number, the number of bottles you just counted. Now, I'm going to tell you something that took me a long time to understand, and I want you to sit with it. There is no great wickedness behind this. Nobody sat in a room and plotted to fool you. It is simpler and sadder than that. There is just no money in teaching a woman to do for herself. There is no profit in a $1 bottle that does 18 jobs. The profit is in the 18 bottles. So nobody teaches the one. The knowing of it just quietly falls away, one generation to the next, until a grandmother dies and takes it with her, and her granddaughter is standing in a store aisle paying $8 for what that grandmother kept in a brown bottle for $1. That's all it is, not a plot, just forgetting. And forgetting, I've come to think, costs a family more over a lifetime than any plot ever could. Write that down. Forgetting is the real cost. My mother, her name was Sadie, she kept her bottle on a high shelf in the summer kitchen, up where the little ones couldn't reach it. And she went to it for everything. I can see her hands now. She had hard hands, working hands, hands that had churned butter and pulled weeds and held babies. And she'd pour a little of that bottle into the wash water, and the fizz would come up, and she'd say, "That's the work being done, Emily. That's it, cleaning so you don't have to." I didn't understand her then. I was a girl and I wanted to be outside, to run in the fields, to feel the sun on my face. I understand her now. I'd give a good deal to sit in that summer kitchen with her one more hour and watch her hands. Write down, watch the hands. So let me hand down to you what she handed down to me, 18 of them. And I'll save the best for last, because the last one is the one that saves the most money of all every single year. And I want you to stay with me to hear it. Let's start in the kitchen where I spend half my life. Take your pencil and write a line under 18. Number it 1. We're starting. The first one is the sponge. You've got a sponge by your sink right now, I'd guess. And I'd guess it started to smell a little sour. They go bad fast. And what does most everybody do? Throws it out and reaches for a new one. Now, in the house I grew up in, you did not throw out a thing that still had use in it. That was not thrift for thrift's sake. It was a kind of respect for the thing and for the money that bought it, and for the earth the Lord gave us. So instead of throwing that sponge away, you soak it. Half water, half from the brown bottle, in a little dish, and you leave it sit. You'll see it fizz. That fizzing is the bottle breaking apart all that's gone sour in the sponge, the bacteria, the old bits of food caught down in it. Leave it the better part of an hour and rinse it, and it's near new again. I get months out of a sponge that another woman would have thrown out 3 times over, months off a sponge, off pennies. It adds up more than you think. Write 1, sponge. The second one is your fruit and your vegetables. Now, I grow most of mine in our garden, but you may buy yours. And either way, there's spores on the skin you can't see. The kind that turn a berry soft and grey 2 days after you bring it home. You've had that happen. You buy a nice box of berries full of hope, and by Thursday half of them are fuzzy, and you're throwing money in the slop bucket. So fill your basin with cold water, and put in a good splash from the bottle, and let your fruit sit in it a few minutes. Then rinse it well in plain water. It kills back what's on the skin, and your berries last the way they're meant to. I cannot abide wasting food. Food is the Lord's provision and a body's labour both, and to let it rot in the bowl is a small sin against both. This is a way to honour it. Number 2, write produce wash. The third is your grout. The lines between your tiles. It goes grey, doesn't it? It's a porous thing, grout. It drinks up dirt like a sponge and holds it. And folks reach for these harsh acid cleaners that, I'll tell you, eat away the very seal that protects the grout. So you're doing harm while you think you're doing good. Instead, you spray the bottle right along those lines, and you walk away and let it sit a quarter hour. Come back and it's brightened. No harsh fumes that set your head to aching. No kneeling there scrubbing till your knees give out. Now, I'll be honest. On grout gone very bad, you may need a second go, and a little brush helps. It is not a miracle, but it is gentle, and it is cheap, and it does not wreck the seal. And that's 3 things the store bottle can't say. Write 3, grout. The 4th is the humidifier if you run one in the dry months. You know the pink slime that creeps up in the tank? That's a living thing, and you are breathing the air that passes over it, and that does a body no good, especially a child's. 2 spoonfuls from the bottle into the tank water keeps it clean, keeps the air honest, and no lingering smell after like you get with the bleach. Set it and forget it, my mother would have said if she'd had such a contraption, which she did not. She just used a kettle on the stove. Write 4, humidifier. The 5th is the mattress, and this one folks never think of. You cannot wash a mattress, and they cost the earth to replace. So you live with the stains, the sweat marks, the spills, the little accidents that come with little ones in the house. Now go gently here. Mist it lightly. Lightly, mind. You don't want it soaked, right on the spot. The bottle loosens what's organic in the stain, sweat and the like, and lifts it up to where you can blot it away with a clean cloth. The professional cleaning folks know this trick and charge you dearly for it. It cost you about 3 cents and 10 minutes. I'll say plainly, it works best on the fresh and the light-coloured, and an old deep stain may not come all the way out, but 3 cents to try against the cost of a new mattress. I know which my mother would choose. Write 5, mattress. The 6th one is dear to my heart because I raised 5 children in this house, and that's the toys. Little ones put everything in their mouths, every blessed thing. And I never could abide spraying harsh chemicals on a thing my baby was going to gum on. And here is the beauty of this bottle, the thing that makes it different from all the rest. When it's done its work, it breaks apart into nothing but water and air. Water and air. That's all that's left. So I'd spray the toys, the hard ones, the blocks and such, and let them dry. And I never once worried what was left behind because nothing was. You cannot say that of the bright bottles. Read their backs sometime, the warnings on them, and then think about your child's hands. Write 6 toys. The 7th is the mould in your shower, in the basin, on that rubber seal around the door of your washing machine. And here I have to teach you something because it's the very thing that took me years to learn, and it'll change how you think. Most folks grab the bleach the moment they see mould. And the bleach, it takes the colour out. The black goes pale and the surface looks clean and you feel you've won. But, and listen close, on a porous thing, the deep root of it is often still down in there, and in 2-3 weeks it's back in the very same spot, and you're fighting the same battle over. It's like a man who cuts a weed off at the dirt, and is surprised to see it standing again come Sunday. Now, the bottle works different. It doesn't just bleach the colour, it reacts. And that fizz, it is pulling at the mould itself. I'll be straight with you, the same as I'd want a body to be straight with me. On a hard surface, your tile, your glass, that rubber seal, it does real good. But if mould is grown down deep into a porous wall or soaked into old grout, no spray from a bottle is your true answer there. And any soul who tells you it is selling something. Deep mould in a wall is a bigger trouble and wants a bigger fix. But for the everyday shower mould on a hard surface, this is your honest friend and far better than bleach that only paints over the problem. Write 7. Mould on hard surfaces. The 8th, while we're near the green things, your plants. This is an old one, near forgotten. When a plant droops, the new gardener thinks it's thirsty and gives it more water. And that's just the thing that's killing it, for the roots are drowning, suffocating down in soil too wet. Mix 1 small spoon from the bottle, the regular 3% strength mind, into a cup of water, and pour it to the roots. It lets a little burst of air down into that wet dirt and gives the roots breath. And it can stop the rot before it takes the whole plant. I've saved many a seedling this way come spring. Plants I'd otherwise have had to buy again. A few cents against a tray of new seedlings. That's the arithmetic my mother did in her head all day long, and it's why she never wanted for anything. Write 8 plants. The 9th is glass, your windows, your mirrors. Those blue cleaners leave a waxy film. Did you know? And the next time the sun comes slanting through, there's every streak mocking your work. The bottle is a clean thing. It leaves no film. A little on a soft cloth, and your glass comes clear and stays clear. It's the cheapest glass cleaner you will ever keep. And it does not perfume your whole house in the doing. Write 9 glass. Now we're halfway, and we've already set aside what 6 store bottles, the sponge, the produce wash, the grout cleaner, the mould spray, the glass cleaner already. And I told you I'd save the best for last. So stay with me, because the back half of this list is where the real saving lies, in your health and your purse both. But first, that brown bottle. Hold it up to the light. Again, I promised I'd tell you why it's dark, and here it is. And it's a useful thing to know. This isn't plain water in here, it's water with 1 extra bit of air bound up in it. And that extra bit is the whole of its strength. But light undoes the binding, light gets at it, and that extra air slips off. And what you're left with is plain water. Nothing. So the dark bottle is guarding the strength inside. And here's how you know if yours is any good. Pour a little on a surface, and if it fizzes, it's alive and it'll work. If it just sits there flat and quiet, it's gone over to plain water, and it's done. And no amount of it will help you. Most folks have an old flat bottle in the cabinet doing nothing. Now you'll know to check. Write that down. Test for fizz, no good. The 10th is yellowed plastic. You've a white microwave, maybe, or an old toaster, or the trim on something gone an ugly yellow, and you think it's just old and there's nothing for it. But that yellow is only the light working on the plastic over years. Brush the bottle on it, wrap it in a bit of plastic wrap to hold it, and set it in a sunny window a few hours. The light that turned it yellow, with the bottle's help, pulls the yellow right back out. I've made old things look near new this way. It feels a little like a miracle the first time watching the years lift off a thing. Write 10 yellowed plastic. The 11th is your toothbrush. It stands in a cup in a damp room, and that's just where the unseen things love to gather. Once a week, I drop the brush heads in a little cup from the bottle for a few minutes, and it fizzes away what a rinse under the tap never could reach. A small habit, but it's the small, faithful habits that keep a house and a body well, more than the grand gestures. Right 11, toothbrush. The 12th is the trash can, the bin itself. You've taken the bag out, and still there's a smell that won't quit. That's a film of the living, unseen things stuck right to the plastic. Spray the empty bin from the bottle, let it work, wipe it out, and you've killed the smell at its root, instead of just laying a perfume over top of it, which is all those scented sprays do. They cover a thing, they don't cure it. My mother had no patience for covering a thing instead of curing it, in cleaning or in life. Right, 12, trash can. The 13th is your dishwasher. If you keep one, it can go sour, a funny smell, a cloudy film on the door. Pour a cup from the bottle in the bottom and run it hot and empty. It cleans down in the seals and the drain where the grease and slime hide where you can't see, and it keeps the machine doing its work right, so your dishes come out truly clean and not just warmed. Right 13, dishwasher. The 14th is for your feet. Now don't laugh. Tired feet are no small thing when you're on them all day. Skip those costly foot peels at the store, half warm water, half from the bottle in a basin, and soak 15 minutes. It helps with the fungus that troubles feet, the athlete's foot folks call it, and softens the hard calluses so they tend down easier. I'll say helps, mind, and I mean helps. For a bad stubborn case wants a doctor, and I'd not have you think otherwise. But for the everyday tired, rough foot, it's a plain old comfort for next to nothing. Right 14 feet. The 15th is for a blood stain, and any woman who's raised children or done the wash knows this trouble. A child comes in with a skinned knee, and it's all down the front of a good light shirt. Get to it quick, before it sets and goes to the laundry, and put the bottle right on it. It'll fizz and lift the blood away. Go gentle on a dark cloth, though, and don't leave it sit long there, for it'll lighten a dark colour if you forget it, same as a mild bleach would. But on a white or a light thing caught fresh, it saved many a garment of mine. Right 15, blood stains. The 16th is for a blemish on the skin. Look at the back of those dear little tubes of spot treatment at the store sometime, and you'll often find it's a peroxide doing the work, dressed up and sold to you at 20 times the price. A small dab, small mind, and use a cotton swab so you're precise on a blemish, helps clear what's gathered in the pore. I'll say it helps and aids the healing. I'll not promise more than that, and I'd not have a young person scrub their whole face with it, for it's strong and the skin is tender. A small dab now and then, that's all. Right 16, blemishes. The 17th is for the mouth. Folks pay $8 for a whitening rinse at the store, 1 part from the bottle, 2 parts water. And mind you, mix it. Never use it full strength in your mouth. And swish it and spit it. Don't swallow it. It freshens the breath at its source, and over time it gently helps whiten the teeth. The dentists have leaned on this very thing for many a year, only they don't always tell you how cheap the plain version is. Diluted now. Always diluted. I'll say that twice because it matters. Right 17, mouth rinse, dilute. And now the last one, the 18th. The one I told you I was saving, the one that saves the most of all every year, year on year. It's your wash, your laundry. You've seen those big tubs at the store, the oxygen boosters for your whites. $15, sometimes more, with a bright scoop inside and a brighter promise on the label. Now here is the thing they are quiet about. The working heart of that whole expensive tub is just a powder that when it meets the water lets go of the very same thing that's in your $1 brown bottle. The very same. You are paying $15 for a fancy way to deliver a thing you already have for $1. So cut out the middleman, my mother would say, though she'd not have known the word. Pour a cup from the bottle straight into your white wash. It brightens, it freshens, it lifts the sweat stains from the collars and the underarms. And it does it for pennies alone. Pennies against $15 a tub, 2-3 tubs a year. Do that arithmetic over a lifetime of washing for a family of 7, the way I have washed, and you will understand why I say this is the one that matters most. Write this in big letters. 18, laundry booster, save $15 a tub. It is real money kept in your own home where it belongs, year after year after year. So there they are, 18 from one brown bottle that cost $1. Now I want to tell you why I bothered to sit here and hand all this to you, because it's more than the saving, though the saving is real. When my mother poured that bottle into the wash water and told me that's the work being done so you don't have to, she wasn't only teaching me to clean. She was teaching me that a body can do for herself, that you needn't be at the mercy of a store shelf and a bright label and a price somebody else decided. That there's a quiet freedom in knowing how a thing actually works, and that freedom is worth more than all the convenience they're selling. I didn't understand her then. I understand her now. Look at the list you have there. It is a powerful thing, that piece of paper. It represents all the money you'll save, and more than that, it represents a kind of independence. My people, we live simply, but that simplicity is a strength. We are not ruled by our possessions or by the constant need to buy more. By sharing this with you, I'm hoping to give you a piece of that strength. I feel called to do it. I see the world so busy, so distracted, so worried about what to buy next, and I think of my mother and the summer kitchen, and the way a body can just know. I'd like to know which of these you'll try first. Truly I would. Leave a mark on your paper, or whisper it to yourself, or think of it later when you are home. And tell me, too, if there's a use I've missed, for I'm still learning even now. And the best things I know, I learned from someone willing to share. I read them all, and I learned from you the same as I hope you've learned a little from me today. And if a brown bottle can do the work of a dozen store shelves, it does make a body wonder what else we've gone and forgotten, doesn't it? What else our grandmothers knew that we let slip away. There is something about the natural world, the medicines and the cleansers that grow right in our gardens or sit on our pantry shelves. The people who built this country and the people who kept the old ways, they knew things we are only just starting to rediscover. Take this knowledge, put it in your pocket, and remember where it came from. And when you use it, maybe say a little prayer of thanks for the earth, for the water, for the air, and for the hands that passed it down.